Welcome to Spill the Tea about weddings. Hi, I'm Teresa.
Hi, I'm Sheila. Hi, welcome to Spill the Tea Wedding Podcast with Teresa and Sheila. Hi, I'm Sheila. I am the owner of Finest Details. I am a wedding planner, a florist, and I have a wedding decor design showroom in Goldsboro.
Hi there, I'm Teresa, owner of the English Country Barn, a beautiful wedding venue in Magnolia, North Carolina. Hey Sheila, how are you doing?
Doing good.
You got a topic for us today?
I do.
Go
And
on.
for people that are just joining our podcast, we talk about all things wedding, and we are known for giving our personal opinions. So
Advice, our personal advice, Sheila.
personal advice, that sounds better, with opinions. And so today, that is going to be one of the subjects. We are going to be talking about the mothers.
Yeah, we discussed it when we very first started our podcast, didn't we? But when we were a bit more amateur and didn't record everything properly. And so we decided it would be a good thing to revisit and talk. I mean, mums are always going to be there, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
So for me as a planner, and we'll discuss if that's the same thing on venue appointments, it is very common that I have the mother of the bride, sometimes even the mother of the groom, that come not only to the first appointment, but quite frequently throughout the planning process. And I do see my couples quite often. I would say if it's a year and a half out, they might come every 3 months, see what's new, or we do a check-in planning meeting in store if they don't want to do Zoom. And I like that because, you know, we see a lot of people, and it helps me remember that face, have time to build a relationship and connect and know more than just about what color they want, but learn their personality, which helps me be a better planner. And mothers are often, I have some that are very vocal and I have some that are very quiet. And me, maybe it's because I lost my mother when I was 28 and we were very, very close. And I sound like my mother, walk like my mother. We had a really, really good connection. I always tell the couples, like, this is your wedding. You will do it your way, whatever you want. Like, don't worry about what your best friend did or your cousin's wedding. Like, it should be your wedding. But also, I think mothers get left behind sometimes because they'll do a first look with their dad. Their dad walks them down the aisle, and the dad gets the first dance with the daughter. But what about the mother?
yeah, I think because mums often are part of the planning process, and traditionally, obviously, daughters were chattel to be sold off to the highest bidder. I mean, that's really what happened. And mums didn't have, I mean, traditionally, women didn't have a say back in the day, did they?
Right.
Women were supposed to love, honor, and obey and do the whole thing. And I think that those traditions have sort of held relatively fast. We are seeing more mums now walking their daughter down the aisle as well. And I love that. I love the fact that both parents are involved. But I think that traditionally, because mum is likely to be the one going with the daughter to try dresses on and to have opinions about colours and to do all the things leading up to it, I think that sort of tends to feel that they're left behind. They've had all the excitement, and if I was honest as a mum, I would prefer to do all that and not have the spotlight on me on the day anyway. I feel the spotlight should be on the couple, and
But they do the first dance with the dad. And
well,
the
they do
first look with
here.
the dad.
You know how I feel about that. It's all kind of tacky as far as I'm concerned.
He's like
Not
giving
a
you away.
Yeah, I don't like all that chattel thing. I don't. I guess I'm a bit of a feminist, and just a bit. And I feel that some of those traditions are there because they're traditions and maybe should be evolved into something a little bit more modern. And I get, daddy's little girl and all of that good stuff. And, when my daughter got married, she had her father walk her down the aisle and they did a first dance together. And, he did the first look and all of those things. I'd already seen the first look because whilst you get the photographs, I was the one that helped to get dressed and do all those things. For me, as a mum, those intimate moments without photography were so special because those are, I guess I don't need to live with the visual proof of a photograph.
Right.
Those memories are so special to me. Going with both of my daughters to try on their wedding dresses and having the laughter and the fun and the togetherness and the stress and trying not to be too honest that you hated the dress.
Yeah.
All of those things. I just think...
Or they didn't pick your favorite dress,
No.
right?
And actually, I was really lucky because, we have a really honest relationship. So some of the dresses, when they walked out, I'd go, oh no. And they would go straight back in. So actually...
I can visualize that.
Yeah. But I do tend to feel that it might appear that mums are left behind, but some of the traditions that I'm seeing now, like dedicating a bouquet to a mum or a grandma.
Love that.
Or
yes.
doing a first look with both parents. Or,
that's where I was going
things,
next.
I think that today's modern woman is really recognizing that mum deserves a little... I would hate the recognition on wedding day, I really would, because I'm not that person. But some of the mums do want to feel cherished and loved.
Right.
And you know how I feel about all those first dances. So
Yeah.
a mother-daughter first dance would be really weird. And I get that...
And that's a very Southern thing. That's not all over the United States. People are not.
Yeah, it's, for me, culturally, it's just very weird. I get it that most people want to do it, again, because of tradition.
Yeah.
I'm ready for traditions to evolve, let's just say that. But I do feel that mums traditionally have been...
kind of... They do get all the fun, private, intimate things before. Hopefully, all of them. But on the day of the wedding, I feel like mom is often in the shadows. So that's why I'd really like for the brides to have mom stand out a little more. Love. See, I'm not a fan of a bouquet toss. I think it's being at the florist, I'm like, whoosh. I'm like, no. Put it in a vase. Use it as a flower arrangement, but don't just throw it out there. So I love when it is given to a mother, an aunt, or a grandmother, like whoever's been very significant to the bride, because there's different roles for every bride. I love a first look with the parents, and I like it with a groom too. I like for the groom to have, with his mom and dad, like a first look to get to see their son all dressed up on the wedding day. Yeah. I love that part. I agree. Sometimes the dances takes away from the couple's first dance when it's all about like the parent dances, but that is a very Southern tradition. I don't see it going anywhere, but I totally agree. Everything in the reception should be the focus of the couple itself, and I think traditionally that represents that the father is giving her to, giving her. I got to be careful. Giving her away, bidding her off. But
3 cows and a pig.
It's a sign of respect, I think, to the new groom, that he trusts him with the future of his daughter. So maybe not so much as the hierarchy of the bidding process, but respect to the groom. But in the same way, what about instead of just a father with the first dance, is half of it be with dad and then mom step in for her?
No.
I love it.
It's
I love
awful.
it. I do love it.
Something that I feel...
But I love the private photos. Like mom and dad having a first look, love it. For the groom too, love it.
Something I tell our couples when they're touring with us, or when I'm doing that final walkthrough, and as mums, we all want to nurture them and take care of them and be busy and make sure everything is perfect. And I always say to the mums, but on wedding day, you'll be busy.
Yes.
You will be busy enjoying that time with your daughter. Please let somebody else do that job, because I want you to be upstairs in the dressing room, having those intimate
Getting
moments.
her hair done.
But it's not just about it's
like-
not just about her looking beautiful. It's about the fact that she can
Share.
cherish those moments when her daughter's up there giggling nervously with the bridesmaids and
Right.
talking about the hopes and dreams, and just being there to reassure her. Don't you think?
Yeah. I totally
I just
agree.
feel that moms need to be aware on wedding day. They are not there to oversee everything, to make sure all the flowers are in the right vases. That's why we have vendors that we
Right.
trust, so that mum can go up there and enjoy it. Dad can be somewhere goofing off with
Most
the
dads
grooms.
are always goofing off.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's what they should be doing, you know, worrying about whether the fireplace needs got wood or anything like that. But I just feel that mums are always guilty of wanting to take care.
They want the day to be everything their child's dreamed of.
They do. I think where they need to be careful sometimes, and this is a cautionary tale, that mums also need to understand it is not their wedding day. They are not reliving their time. They need to remember the daughter does not want to hear, well, when I got married,
Right.
because that's not today. Today's modern bride is very different to 30 years
yes.
ago. And I do feel that mums need to definitely keep with the times and realise that the girls today want it their way, and they want their mum to cherish them and enjoy the moments, but they don't want to hear, well, when I got married, it was only
Right.
$3.50 a plate. And
Just makes us sound older.
we are old. So when my daughter got married
They're
last
like, what was
year-
that, 30 years ago?
I know, exactly. When my daughter got married last year, obviously I know weddings a little bit, right? So you would think. So I had an opinion about something, and she just very quickly put me in my place and said, well, it's a good job it's not your wedding. And I thought, okay, listen to the caution here and butt out. And so it was hard as a mom and somebody in the industry. It was hard not to say, well, if it was me, I would, because it wasn't me and I didn't. So I feel that mums do need to be respectful of the fact it is up to the couple to make that decision for everything, whether it's the type of wine they're going to drink, or whether it's the what order they're going to do everything, or what photographs are important. I mean, we've seen mums who have wanted to have their opinion on what the photograph list should be because Great Aunt Ethel's coming. Well, that picture from Great Aunt Ethel.
I feel like photos should be 100% the couple's
I agree.
plan.
100%.
I think that I do not, at the planner, step at all into two things: music and photography. When it comes to music, and I let vendors know, I remind the couples, okay, it has to be done 60 days out. Whatever music you want, have at it. This is your day. You know what your friends like. You know what you enjoy. I don't step in that. They completely work out the whole music list. And when it comes to photos, I do not step on any photographer's toes. Like, everything that I expect the couple to be there at a certain time is on my timeline. And I know I have on that timeline when the photographer's arriving and what time they're lining up for the ceremony. And that time in between, and I make sure that the bride, the wedding party is ready by noon. But that time in between is not mine to micromanage. That couple at 100% should sit down with the photographer and do everything that they want. Like, it should not be the parents making the decisions. So moms, if you are listening, I think we're both very, very
Well, don't
in
you
agreement
think
with
that if you have a good relationship with your kids, you should have been able to go to them before the wedding
Yep.
and say, look, Sheila, Great Aunt Ethel's coming to the wedding. We haven't seen her for a long time. It would be so special to me if we got that photograph. Then the daughter can decide, before she has that meeting with the photographer, oh yeah, Mum really wants a photograph of me with Great Aunt Ethel, and have it special. So when my daughter got married, I really, really wanted a photograph of her siblings with her with no one else. So I talked to her beforehand and said how important it was to me, because it's not often, they live in 2 different countries, they're not often together all dressed up. The all dressed up bit is quite important too. So I had said to her ahead of time, I'd really, really like a photograph of the 3 of you together, because that's special. But if she had chosen not to do that, that's not for me to go and interfere with the photographer and say, hey, Adam, you didn't do that picture and I want that. That's not my place.
No,
I wasn't able
100%
to have a conversation with the photographer before. I didn't interfere. And I just think that it's important that mothers definitely understand the boundary. And I love the mums. I mean, yesterday, Sheila, I had a meeting, might be slightly biased because they are from England, but I had a meeting with a couple that are getting married, and her parents had come over for the wedding, and it was so special to see the relationship between them. And then it was so special to have those conversations with Mum. Very funnily, Dad and the groom said, we're going for a walk because we actually don't care about the conversation you're doing, because it was about vases and the colours and things. But Mum wanted to have advice that she wanted to share before the wedding, and then it was, but don't worry, it's yours, you do what you think is best. That's exactly what a mum should do.
Yes.
And then I loved her even more because she gave me a hug and said, thanks so much for taking care of my daughter. So there are boundaries, don't you think, that mums need to be aware of? And we love our mums, we do. I had a mum a few weddings ago, was the one that was taking care of making sure everything was cleared up. They'd gone off on their honeymoon. She was the one that was there to make sure everybody had exactly what they needed and to walk me through and make sure. That's where mum's boundary is.
Right.
For me.
Well, and even so on that, like on the wedding day, I have, when we're going through the last 90 days and getting everything on the timeline, Mom's like, oh, I'm going to pick up the wedding cake. Oh, I'll set those out before I get dressed. I will literally stop and go, you can't. Like, it's too much. And you're going to miss the whole day, the day that you've planned alongside with your daughter for a year. And so for brides, I want them to know that it's great that Mom wants to help so much. And if they're lucky enough to have their venue for 2 days or 3 days, they'll have all day the day before to do any of that kind of stuff. But the day of the wedding, please make sure that your mom is just your mom.
Yes, and take this as a cautionary tale too, because I didn't do what you just said. When my younger daughter got married in 2020, I knew weddings. We didn't need a planner. We were fine. It was a relatively small wedding because obviously we all know that the world stopped. Yep. And she will tell you to this very day, I wish we had hired a planner because Mom, you were so busy making sure everybody was taken care of that we didn't get those moments together. And I do believe that mums have a boundary that they shouldn't step over. But I also feel that mum should embrace that time and those memories and not want to do all the things on the day. And to really trust the vendors are going to do what they're supposed to do. And if you don't have that trust in your vendors, maybe
then you might not have the right vendor.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, that's what we do. We do it every week. We do it. We know what we're doing. As long as there's a clear understanding between the couple and their vendors of what expectations are and what they want. And if you have somebody experienced, we understand that. And we'll go in, we'll get it done on time. But it is, and I think it's for moms or caretakers in general, and so they want to take care of everything. But I highly, highly say not on the wedding day. And you can go over there and clean up on Sunday if you want to.
Yeah, I love
Just
it when
not
mums,
on the wedding day.
But also I think that, mums need to sort of enjoy the whole process, and not get stressed about whether she disagrees that there's wrong colour napkins or whether she doesn't like the wedding gown or she doesn't particularly care for those particular flowers. I mean, we all have things that we have opinions about. I mean, I know what my favourite flowers are. They're probably not the same favourite flowers as yours or my daughter's. Or, so having boundaries and understanding that things are different now, and you're not living vicariously through your daughter for maybe the wedding you didn't have or the wedding you think she should have. And it definitely is about support.
Right. It is. I agree. And, not having about like the mother reliving their wedding. Well, when you were 20, and it was a different time. And
well, fashions were different back then too.
Fashion was different. Cost of living was different. Cost of materials was different. So it's wonderful that you're in a financial place to give your kids a bigger wedding than you had. And hopefully they're going to feel that way in 25, 30 years when their kids are getting married. So that's understandable. But in the end, it really, really, really needs to be all about the couple. And the mom just needs to be the mom. And I think it's a great idea, because I know you were like, oh, no, I don't like the dancing with the mom. Okay, great. But why not give her a beautiful hanky with a handwritten letter about what a good role model as a wife and a mother she's been, or how much her support and encouragement and time shared with the bride. Like, as moms, just as women in general, I think that we find those sentimental gifts to be way more valuable than
for sure.
a beautiful flower to hold. Like, oh my gosh, as a florist, I just said that. You can get her the flower too, get her a nice, cute little bouquet. But I want those sentimental things.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to be photographed by your photographer, but have something a little special on your wedding day that you can say, thank you, Mom. Thank you for being by my side. Thank you for what you did. And
but let's talk a little bit about the groom's mum too.
No, that's exactly.
But
I'm
groom's
100%.
mum is often just left to. I mean, I can't tell you how many, and I get it. I have a really special bond with my daughters, and I'm very blessed with that. I am also really aware that quite often I hear that mum has been shopping for a wedding gown, and mother-in-law hasn't been included, and then mother-in-law takes a back seat, because grooms typically are less thoughtful,
Right.
And they're not going to take their mum to choose what
dress. No.
suit they're going to choose.
Well, that's when I work with the mother of the groom to plan rehearsal dinner, and I don't get them all. I would love to have them all. That's why I tell them, this is your time as mom to shine. You do, because I do recommend, don't match a wedding, don't use the same flowers as a wedding. So that's what's so great about using the florist or the planner that the bride has, because they know what they're choosing. But I like it to be a little more masculine, a little bit more about the groom.
See, I'm not a fan of the whole big rehearsal. Again, culturally, we
love
don't
it. I
we
do
don't
love
do
it.
them. We don't do rehearsal. We don't do rehearsal dinner in the UK. So it's kind of weird for me. So really don't feel, and I would say at the venue, although our couples, if they have the 3-day experience, are very, very welcome to have their rehearsal dinner and the whole welcome
had
party and
a
everything.
fun one.
Much more of a fan of a welcome party than a rehearsal dinner. I guess just culturally it sits better with me. I do understand that mothers of the groom then want to shine then, but I do feel that it shouldn't be about the mother of the groom. It should be about if you're having a rehearsal dinner, it should be about the groom.
Right. That's why I always tell them to whatever his favorite colors are. His favorite
we've seen
food
some
is.
fun ones. We've had, duck hunting and bull riding and mudder trucks and all sorts of things going on. And that's fine. But I do feel sometimes
do
it
love
would
the
be
rehearsal
nice
dinner
if a
welcome party.
bride welcomes the mother of the groom to do something, whether it's a bridesmaids luncheon and the parents, or whether she allows the mother of the groom to throw a bridal party, a bridal shower, or I don't know, something to just, especially if she doesn't have daughters as well. I mean, I'm really lucky. I've got one son and 2 daughters, so I've got to shine twice as a mother of the bride. And if my son ever gets married, I could take a back seat, it's fine. Yeah. And I'll have to really practice about not knowing about weddings then, won't I? Because as a mother of the groom, I definitely shouldn't have opinions. But I do think mothers of the groom, it's hard for them, isn't it? Because they definitely have to take a bigger step back and not have opinions. And that's tricky.
Well, most of my friends all have sons, and they all said that. They're like, it's going to be so hard. And I said, it doesn't have to be. Like, and typically when it comes to dresses, I'm always saying, oh, yeah, it's the mother of the groom, mother of the bride, bridesmaids are all going. And definitely brides include the groom's mom, because you know you're going to be a family. The whole thing about your marriage and your wedding is you're becoming a bigger family.
You are if you do it properly, but then I think that some of those dynamics have to happen at this point before the marriage.
Right.
I mean, my mother-in-law detested me. Can't imagine why, Sheila, but she did. It's a fact. And part of that, I think that as a young woman, I didn't include her, how potentially I could have done, because my relationship with my own mum was very, very close. And I felt I didn't need this person's input into something that I didn't really agree with. She was very gregarious, very outspoken, very loud, musical, all the things I'm not. And she, you know, she wore really bright colours and liked to be the centre of attention. And I would shudder at all of those things. So consequently, we weren't a good fit to begin with. And then my relationship with my own mother. So when I went wedding dress shopping, I just went with my mum. And I'm sure she felt hurt. She only had sons. And as a young woman, did I care? Not particularly, because as young women, we're selfish. So,
but you should.
But you should,
Yeah.
but you're not, you, as a young person, you don't necessarily know. So then that becomes a responsibility of the mother of the groom and possibly the mother of the bride to say, hey, Teresa, maybe you could be a bit more generous about this. And have those open relationships and those open communications. But I also feel that mothers of the groom shouldn't take it personally. If it should be an I just feel mothers and their daughters have a different relationship. It's just a different relationship. And it's so, I mean, the relationship I have with my two daughters is an unbreakable bond, you know? And I just feel that the relationship I might have with my in-laws is different.
Well, even though the marriage and the wedding is between the couple, and once you're married, I do believe and was taught that relationship is top priority, like over.
That should be the only person that you're spending your life with. Yeah,
I grew up in a very tight family. Like I loved and adored both of my parents, and so I was very, very lucky to have that example for my parents. But that was one of the things before a relationship. My mother was like, tell me why. Tell me what's positive. Tell me, you know, is there anything that you feel that might need improvement? Like, I was taught to communicate. And so I talked with them about everything. And that was one of the things that I cherish because I've taken it forward my whole life, is trying to make sure that I always communicated with people. It might not always come out right. It might be a little sassy. But communicating is a key.
Yeah.
And so including the groom's mom and your mom. Now, I'm not saying that because they're sitting there, they can choose your dress or choose your flowers or choose your colors. This is ultimately just about the couple. But including that family together, and both the moms, I agree, are essential. For the moms are going to be sharing grandchildren one day. You know, the moms are going to be sharing holidays or events, and you know, the 5-year-old's birthday. You know, you don't have to have so much of a private relationship, but as a unified family relationship, I think that's important for the couple too.
Well, ultimately, everybody who is involved in the wedding for the couple should be there to support them.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, exactly that. I appreciate, you know, the point is, if you take your mother-in-law to wedding dress shopping, she's there as a support cheer squad, not to have opinions.
Not decision makers.
No.
But we do both agree we want the mothers. Like I say, respect your mother, and really share that time with them too. That doesn't mean decision making. When we say share, moms that are watching this, that means, like
Support
Teresa
system.
said, be a good support system. But definitely include them, because if I could go back, there's so many more things I would have shared. And
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, my mum's not here anymore, and I would definitely. There are things that I wish I had done better.
Yeah.
And so I mean, you and I both agree communication is so important with everything, and I certainly feel that mums should have communication with their daughters
Yep.
during the whole process, and be excited for them, but be there as cheer squad. And I think that daughters, especially, I mean, we haven't even talked about grooms, because quite frankly, they don't. I mean, bless them. They do want to be more involved these days, but they're just not.
I always love it when you see the bride's list to do, and his is like, get a suit, choose a tie,
Choose your groomsman.
choose your groomsman.
That's
Like,
a lot.
it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Guys
And,
have got it.
I mean,
made.
and a lot of guys are not big on communication, are they? And I'm sure that I mean, I'm very lucky. My son and I talk a lot, but I guess my kids always grew up knowing that communication was so important to me, so they all been bullied into talking. But a lot of guys sort of just think, well, mum doesn't need to know about that. Of course I've got a suit, and they haven't involved her in it. Or, the mother of the groom may say, son, what do you want for your rehearsal dinner? He's going to say, I don't know, because that's typically their input. Ask my fiance, because she's probably going to have more of an opinion.
I do feel and encourage the bride to take the role to include the groom's mom.
I agree.
Because if the groom's having to tell you, hey, can you include my mom? It's kind of like, let's be a little more thoughtful on that. Because just the way you want your mom included or your dad to be included, you should do that for the groom. Like, that should be natural. That you're looking out. If you're getting married, you should naturally be thinking about what is good for each other. And you want to include your family in that. And so, as brides, if you haven't thought about it, here's your hint. Yep.
I agree.
All right. Well, I think we've talked about, let's talk about our moms.
Yeah, we love our mums,
Yeah,
don't we?
we do. And so that is a wrap for today. And thank you for watching Spill the Tea Wedding Podcast with Teresa and Sheila. And please like, follow, share, and subscribe.
See you in
Bye.
the next one.